everybody. Okay, what I want to talk about tonight is red flags and the importance of them, and really understanding the whole dynamic of red flags. And what brought this about was, I was having a discussion with someone about, why would you want, like, looking at the red flags is looking at the negative, and it's ignoring the positive, it's being pessimistic. And that is just not the case. And I want to explain why, so that people have an understanding of why they should be looking for red flags. The difference is, what place do you want to be coming from when you're dating? Okay, that's the first thing you have to look at, because people who look for red flags and people who don't, they're looking for relationships. They're going into it from a different position. Okay? One is a position of desperation and one is not. And this is the thing that you have to understand. If you're not going to look for red flags, if you want to be dating from a place of desperation, you're going to be dating to hurry up and not be single. See, you don't want to be in this position. You don't want to date starting out from a desperate place. You're not dating to hurry up and not be single. You're dating to ensure that this person is a good fit for a relationship. That there's something viable, that you're even capable of having a loving, harmonious relationship with this person. That is what you're supposed to be looking at when you're dating. It's not to hurry up and not be single, to hurry up and be in a relationship. When meeting a new guy, you should not be looking for the good in him. Why? Because it's a guarantee you will find it. Okay? You could be dating Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay? You could have been dating Jeffrey Dahmer. And if you meet him looking for the good in him, it will be there for you to see. And you will not see the red flags. But it doesn't work the same way when you're looking for the red flags. If you look for the red flags with a good man, there will be none. Okay, so you don't lose by looking at the red flags. So you have to get rid of that desperate energy where you're scared you're going to lose. Okay, by doing your due diligence and by coming from a place of, a lack of desperation. You're not losing by looking for the red flags. You can only win, because if this is a good guy, they're not going to be there. But if you don't look for them and you're focusing just on the positive, that's going to be there in every person you see, every person you meet. You can see what you want to see. And then there's a whole other thing about that, and I talk about that in my free audio guide that you can get for free. The link is in the description box. The game is to be told. And there's another one I have that one's $15. It's the game is to be sold. But the both of them talk about that, because there are men that actually prey on women who think like that. Okay? So here's the thing. You won't find, if this is really a good man, the red flags, you looking for the red flags is not a problem, because they're not going to be there. And not only that, high quality men are looking for the red flags in you. They're going to be doing the same thing, and you should be, because you're looking to see how viable things can be between you, how this would work. So let him make you see the good in him by there not being a lot of bad and by what he's putting forth. But you don't want to go into it where you're not going to look at the bad. You want to just focus on the positive. It's not going to hurt you with a good man to look for the red flags. So what are the red flags, right? Inconsistency, where he's saying Rating the way he makes his decisions. Okay, so when you see these red flags, those red flags are not going to be isolated from your relationship. It's going to all leak over into the relationship. This is what you're getting. That's why you want to look for red flags. Okay, inconsistency. The next one is lack of effort. Okay, if he's not trying, he's not showing up, he's not really, his effort is minimal. If you're doing all the work, all of this stuff is a red flag. It's telling you his interest isn't there. That's what lack of effort means. He's not really interested. So that means if you continue with this guy, you're going to be always working and getting nothing back in return. You're going to be coming up short because his lack of effort is showing you he's not interested. He doesn't have that level of interest that's going to make him, or put forth effort towards you. So later on, when you're hurt about him not putting forth effort, you could have saw that in the beginning. That wasn't no effort. You wasn't finna get no effort here. His interest level wasn't high enough that you were going to get some effort here. Bad relationships with the women in his life. Okay? If he has bad relationships on bad terms with every ex, him and his mama don't get along, him and his sister don't get along. These are signs that, he could have a lack of respect for women, and he doesn't know how to deal with women and have relationships with women. You're a woman. This is a red flag. He's not going to have respect for you or know how to deal in a relationship with you other than the way he's been dealing. No long-term relationships if he's of a certain age. Now, if you're dating a guy and he's 21, 19, things like that, he could have not had a long-term relationship. But when you get to meeting guys that are in their 30s and 40s and they've never had a long-term relationship, that is a red flag. Okay? Not all red flags mean that you just don't want to deal with the person. You would want, but they do mean your ears should go up and you should be probing deeper into that. Some red flags should be deal breakers, especially like lack of effort. That's a lack of interest. How is that not a deal breaker? If that's not a deal breaker for you, that you don't require someone actually have genuine interest in you enough to, to okay. Patterns of dishonesty. Okay. So this is where you're dating a guy that's been a criminal most of his life. Okay. That he has some type of pattern of dishonesty where you see that there's some type of track record in his life of being dishonest. Well, you cannot expect a man to go out and lie in the world all day, every day, and come home and tell you the truth. If he has a pattern of being dishonest, that is the way he operates. So he's not gonna, if he doesn't mind, doing things and being dishonest in a way that could jeopardize his entire freedom, don't think that he's going to have a problem lying to you where all it jeopardizes is his relationship with you. A poor value system, okay, where he doesn't see anything wrong with things that he should see something wrong with. That's a huge red flag. Because if his value system is the system he's going to be operating on in the relationship, that's how he's going to decide what he's going to do and what he's not going to do. And if he's not good at, if he has a poor value system where he doesn't, he could not see nothing wrong with cheating with the lady at work. Or he could not see nothing wrong with taking money out of your account without your permission. He could not see nothing wrong with borrowing money from you and don't give it back. He could, he could just not see nothing wrong with major things. If he has a poor value system, this is a red flag. A huge red flag. He's not single. Okay? If he's not single, that is a huge red flag for getting involved with him, because that's telling you there's a high likelihood that this is going nowhere. Okay? And if you want something that's going to go somewhere, that's a red flag. He's not single. Not only that, he has the propensity or the ability within him to be dishonest in a relationship. If he's not single, just imagine, because I guarantee you, whatever he's sitting up doing with you, he's going home and there's somebody else that is oblivious to that. There's somebody that he's telling that he loves, that he's, putting forth effort with, most likely. All kinds of things are going on, and he can live a lie. So that is a huge red flag. Don't think that you're so special that it's about you. No, it's about him as a man. Because a man that has a certain value system within himself, it doesn't matter who he meets. He doesn't have it in him to live a lie. He doesn't have it in him to wake up every day lying in somebody's face. If somebody has that ability, I don't want them. See, I'm not desperate enough. My self-esteem ain't low enough that I'm going to feel good about myself like it's special to me. No, I don't need to be special in that way. I'm good. I don't need to be so special that your character can become that in order for you to be with me. That you could be a lesser person, have lesser character, that you can downgrade your character just to be with me. I don't feel good about that. I don't admire that. I don't need that to make myself feel better. And so come on, it's a red flag that this is going nowhere. Another red flag, laziness in almost every area of his life, or in a lot of areas of his life. If he's lazy in his life, where he's not accomplishing goals, he has no drive within him, he's lazy in every area of his life, he's going to be lazy in a relationship. Okay? You're going to have to deal with that laziness. Bare minimal effort. You know what I mean? Another red flag. He's a fixer-upper. Why is this a huge red flag? Because a lot of people, out of desperation, get into a mindset of, people that get into making excuses for the person. Okay? Why all this is happening in his life? Okay? So he just needs love and he just needs this. No, let's deal in truth and deal in facts. The truth of the matter is, he's a fixer-upper because the choices he makes in life put him in certain positions. This is a person who cannot make good choices and is not making good choices in their life. So then, do you think that he's going to get with you and just make great choices? No, he's still going to be making bad choices. And then you're going to have to be his mother and try to get him to make good choices. And then you have to ask yourself, what in you would make you want to do that? Because did you get in, are you getting in relation? What reason are you getting in relationships? Because that's not a relationship. That's not the dynamic of love between a man and a woman. Your man is not your child. That's a dysfunctional dynamic. He's not making you a part of his world. Okay? What matters to him, not what you think matters. Because if he brings you around his friends, but he brings anybody around his friends, he's not making you a part of his world. I'm talking about what matters to him. that he wouldn't bring anybody into, but he's bringing you into. If he's not doing that, he's not making you a part of the things that matter to him. He's a musician and that's his life, but he's not bringing you to any of the concerts. He's not bringing you backstage to meet the band. And then again, that doesn't matter if he brings everybody. Making you a part of his plans and goals that he has. He's not coming to you about any of that. He's not coming to you about his real life and his future. Another red flag. He's evasive about what he's looking for with you. When a man is evasive about what he's looking for with you, and meaning, okay, he may not know if this is an early relationship or you're just dating and you are very early on, he doesn't know you well enough. He doesn't know it could be that he doesn't know at that point what he wants with you. So you can't on a first couple dates like, well, what do you want with me? He should know what he's looking for. He may not know if it's you, but he shouldn't be evasive. And he's still evasive about what he's looking for with you specifically, you have to understand why he's being evasive. He's evasive because he can't tell the truth. See, so he can't say to you, because it would be a bold-faced lie. That's why he's being evasive. So he can't say to you, actually, what I'm looking for with you is to continue having sex with you until I find the person that I really want to be with. He can't say that, so he has to be evasive now. Because he also can't say, I want to be with you, because he knows he doesn't want to do that either. But he can't tell you the truth of what his intentions really are, so he has to be evasive. And make it, loosey-goosey, where you could kind of think both ways, really. That's a red flag. If, what he's looking for with you, he knows. If you've been dealing with him for a couple months, he knows what he's looking for with you. So when he's evasive, you got to ask yourself, why is he not telling you? Why don't you get to be in on what he's looking for? Because you wouldn't want to be in it if you was in, you wouldn't want to stay dealing with him if you knew what his intentions were with you. And the last red this is not a good time, whatever it is, because I'm gonna tell you this, men who, when a man sees what he wants, if he wasn't ready, that's when he starts being ready. Honestly, men are never ready. They're not out here going around like most of them. They, are not out here just constantly looking for a relationship and wanting a relationship so bad. But when they find somebody that they like, they get ready. So him not being ready, that's not an excuse. If he wanted you, he would get ready. Because he's not going to lose you, the one that he would want, based on him dragging his feet. See, if you're a good catch and he really looks at you like somebody he wants to be with, you got to understand, when a man finds a woman that he feels like is valuable, he wants to hurry up and kind of, he don't want her to go somewhere else and be with somebody else. He's going to feel like if he tells you that he doesn't want a relationship, you might go off with the guy who does, and he loses his opportunity. So that's not something a guy would play with if he was serious about you. That's not going to be a joke to him, because he could actually lose you. And he's not going to play that game if he's serious with you. So even if he wasn't ready, he's not going to tell you that. What he's going to do is try to hurry up and get ready. Like, man, this was not the best time. I really didn't want to be in a relationship right now because I need to do this. But he's not going to tell you that. That's what he's going to say inside of himself while he's put forth to you like he's ready. And he's going to try to be as ready as he can be. So when we look at these red flags, we have to understand how important they are and why this is what you should be looking for, because you're not dating because you're desperate and you just want to not be single and you want to just have a man. You should be dating to see what the relationship is going to be like, because these red flags, not only will they reveal his intentions. See, the red flags will show you this ain't going nowhere. The red flags will show you he ain't really interested in you. The red flags will show you that, he's a liar and he going to be lying the whole time. All this kind of stuff. They show you his intentions. He's leading with his intentions. So when he's leading the relationship. This is what you have to understand. Men are leading the relationship based on their intentions. So if their intentions are to string you along, they lead it in a way that strings you along. If their intentions are to be with you, they lead it in a way that this is going towards us being together. It's very simple. But due to inner wounds, we make the simple complicated. It's not complicated. He is leading it in the direction he wants it to go. And you really wouldn't have to have much of a conversation with him to see that. But I do recommend having conversations. I recommend a lot of communication. But yes, so the red flags are telling you his intentions, and it's telling you what the relationship with him will actually be like. Isn't that what you're supposed to want to know? What position do you have to be coming from going into dating somebody, that when you don't want to look at the red flags, which means, so not wanting to focus on red flags is like saying, I don't really want to know who this guy is or what a relationship with him will be like. I just want to be with him by any means necessary. That's desperate. You should want to know what a relationship with him is going to actually be like. And the red flags is what show you that. The fantasy in your head, because you looked at the good or positives, because that's what's going to happen from just looking at the good or positives, which you can find in every single person. You can find that in a man who's going to get with you and rape your kids. Okay? If you want to be looking for the goods or the positives, he going to have them. Because you can find good in anybody, but you cannot find red flags in anybody. Any and everybody ain't gonna have red flags. But anybody and everybody is gonna have good or positive to them. So the fantasy in your head, because you want to look at the good or the positives in him, is not going to be the reality of the relationship with him. And no amount of good is going to outweigh the pain of all the ignored red flags. So the reason you pay more attention to the red flags than anything else is because if there are red flags, this guy is not a good man for you. And the only reason you're dealing with him is desperation. You're either too desperate to look for red flags because you don't want red flags ruining your chances of not being single by any means necessary. Or you're so desperate that even after examining the red flags, you'd rather settle for him in hopes that you can change him than to wait on the right one, because you're too desperate to wait on somebody who's actually a good fit for you. And you have to understand that people who are healthy and whole look for red flags first. And it's not because they're negative or pessimistic. It's because they're not dating just to not be single. They're not desperate where they just want to have somebody to the point where, or they're in need trying to find somebody to make them feel good. They're happy and they're whole and they're healthy. They're dating to examine the potential for a good, viable relationship. Somebody that can work with them on their level. That we can dance together, so to speak. That's what I would be looking for. I want to see how me and you can dance together. When I say something, can you communicate back? I don't need no inconsistencies coming back. See, that's going to mess up. You stepping on my feet. See, I want to dance. I want harmony. I want union. When my foot go back, I want your foot to go forward. You see what I'm saying? See, that's what a relationship is. It's an energetic dance. And that dance is not going to go well if you got too many red flags, because you're going to be stepping all over my feet and shit. And I don't want to dance with you. It's not about me being negative. You know what I'm saying? It's what you're looking for. Do you want harmonious dance? Do you want a rendezvous? You know, you want to dance. And you can't do that with somebody who has certain red flags. And this is why people who are healthy and whole are looking at red flags first. And if I meet a man, yes, I'm looking at for red flags first, and I would be expecting him to do the same. If he's a high value man, the only people who are not, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to the dating pool, the only people who are not looking for red flags are the people that are on the bottom of the dating pool. These are the people with the most unhealed emotional issues. Men and women. I'm not talking about just one sex. And this is why when they get together, because all you're going to get with, if you're a person who's desperate and you're dating, you don't want to look at red flags. You don't want to do your due diligence, to see what it really can be here, because you're too much of in a rush because of all your unhealed stuff. You can only date other people like that. See, because the men at the high end, the high value, or you want to call them divine masculines and divine feminines, high value men and women, they're looking for red flags. He's going to be looking for it from a woman, and that desperation is going to be one. If she need a man too bad, she want to be with somebody bad enough that she's willing to throw her values to the side. She don't have no standards. He's not attracted to that. The same way women who are high value are not checking for those red flags. They don't want to date a dude looking for no fixer-upper. They want somebody who did that already. Why? Because they did it. They done did the work. They don't want to get somebody now. They got to help him do his work. Okay? So what ends up happening is the people on the bottom of the dating pool that haven't done the inner work, they're dating each other and they're having a hell of a time. Okay? It's going to be, it's going to be hell. Because they haven't done the work. And they both throwing out red flags, ignoring them, and it's just a mess. Okay? So I just want you to understand the importance of red flags. It's not about being negative. It's about being healthy and whole enough that you don't need a fantasy to get off on. So much so that you can't even date. You meeting people and you just want to see a airy-fairy feel good and just jump into something. Red flags are important because they're basically, if you ever want a harmonious and great relationship, the red flags is the whole thing that tells you it's impossible. So that's exactly what it is. Okay? So that's just something about, dating and going into it looking at the red flags and why it's important. And guys, remember that you can get the free download. By checking in the description box below, okay, and click on the link, and you can go ahead and get that free download that gives you a little bit of the game about what's going on, and why you're finding yourself in certain situations. Okay. I have a lot of stuff to help you with this, to help you do the real work so that you can get to the point where you're okay with the red flags, and you're okay when a divine masculine shines the light on you looking for red flags. Okay? So, guys, I hope that was beneficial. Talk to you later.